Okay, so last time we finished taking over a lair of another villain. In this episode, we are told that there was a super villain lair that was recently vacated, and the Vizori are going to be moving stuff from this lair to somewhere else, and they obviously want to study it or whatever else. And our job is that there's going to be two different things going on. One is stuff is going to be transported and it's going to be the guy's signature weapon. And the other thing that's going to happen is that something's happening in the actual lair itself. We have to make a choice. We have to decide if we're going to go for one thing, both things, or if we're just going to, well, basically one thing or the other, or if we're going to go for both things. We finally decide that our plan of action is we're going to try and take out both of them, but we're going to start with one, wait and see how we do after that, and then decide if we're going to go after the second objective as well. So our first objective is hidden behind, well, not really hidden. There's a street, there's the lair, and we know where the convoy is going. We have a minion of Warmonger stake out a claim at like a little mini apartment that we end up renting where he can look out and spy and tell us what's coming and when. We determine that what's going to come for us is a convoy of 3 different cars. There's going to be 2 armored vehicles that are like in the front and the back, and there's going to be, well, actually 3 vehicles. One is an armored vehicle that's going to be in the middle, and in the front and back are going to be escorts filled with guys that, you know, fight and will help protect the thing. So, good old Blindside goes through, and since we have an idea of where they're going, we set up remote charges in the streets so that as the convoy is coming towards us, he blows up the street both in front and behind the convoy, which does some incredible damage to the cars that are there to actually defend the convoy. And we get into a fight. There are tons of guys. Like, there's 3 guys in each of the ships that are protecting the main convoy, and they absolutely just lay waste to us. Well, they don't kill us, but they hurt us a lot. They really just mess us up, but we manage somehow to go through, and we take out most of the guys. We end up able to get the main armored vehicle, but by the time that we get the armored vehicle, my character ends up getting his ass kicked for the first time, and currently the only time that I've actually gone down in the game so far. I didn't die, but I did go down. I was incapacitated because I kind of decided that I was not going to let the armored truck get away at any cost. So I jumped on the windshield, slammed one of my laser swords right into the front, and I just started carving out the front, made my way inside of the car, got shot a few times without getting actually damaged. But when I actually got into the vehicle, I was shot like 3 times, really close range, by a guy with a machine gun. And I ended up going down about then. That's when everybody kind of realized everything was going south. But we managed to capture the armored vehicle. We took it back to our underground lair, and that's where we found that the vehicle itself actually had inside of it a gun that belonged to a villain that basically this gun would summon just swarms of rats to attack whoever it was aimed at. That adventure, I could probably think a bit more about it, but it was kind of painful for me, and at the same time, we were unable to go after the second objective because we had spent so much time fighting in the first thing that we couldn't get around to it. We couldn't do any more. So that was kind of how that went. And I will continue on the next episode.